Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Hour. I'm so glad you're here because today we're talking about something that can completely change the way you speak English. How to think smart so you can speak fast. You know, most people believe that speaking English fast means speaking without stopping or rushing through words. But that's not true. Speaking fast doesn't mean speaking messy. It means speaking smoothly, where the words come to you naturally, one after another, without long pauses or overthinking. And that happens when you train your brain to think smart. Let me tell you something I've noticed after teaching hundreds of learners. Almost everyone who struggles to speak quickly in English has the same problem. They think too slowly. Not because they're not smart, but because their brains are doing too much work. When they try to speak, their brain goes like this. Okay, what do I want to say? Let me think in my language first. Now, how do I translate that into English? Wait, is that grammar right? By the time they're done thinking, the moment has passed. The other person is already talking about something else. I've seen learners who know a lot of vocabulary but still can't respond quickly. They pause, hesitate, and lose confidence. Why? Because they're not thinking smart. They're thinking heavy. Smart thinking means your brain works efficiently. It skips the unnecessary steps. It focuses on expressing the idea, not on forming the perfect sentence. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in a conversation and someone asks, "What did you do last weekend?" A slow thinker goes, how do I say this? I go, oh wait, it's past tense. I went to the park. But a smart thinker, they instantly say, oh, I went to the park. It was great. Simple, smooth, and confident. They're not faster because they studied more. They're faster because they trained their brain to think directly in English. And that's what today's episode is all about. Training your brain to think smart so your words flow faster. Now, let's get one thing clear. Thinking smart doesn't mean thinking complicated thoughts in English. It means learning how to make your ideas simple, clear, and direct. Fluent speakers don't spend time building perfect sentences in their head. They grab the first clear idea that comes to mind and say it. They're not trying to sound like a textbook. They're trying to communicate. I once met a student named Sarah who spoke English slowly and carefully, always afraid of making a mistake. She'd pause after every few words like she was walking on ice. I told her something simple. Sarah, don't chase perfect words. Chase clear thoughts. She looked at me like she didn't quite understand. So I gave her a little exercise. I said, imagine you're talking to your best friend, not your teacher. Don't worry about right or wrong. Just say what comes to your mind, in English. For the first few days, she struggled. But then something changed. Her brain stopped trying to translate. She started thinking in English. Small sentences at first, but fast and natural. It's raining. I'm hungry. Let's go out. Within weeks, her speaking speed doubled. She didn't become fluent by learning new words. She became fluent by thinking smart. So how can you do the same? You start by reducing the gap between your thoughts and your words. Every time you think in your language, you add a delay. So instead, start small. Talk to yourself in English about what's happening around you. You might say, I'm making coffee, or The weather's nice today. These are simple sentences, but they train your brain to react in English. And the more you do it, the faster you'll speak, because your brain starts recognizing patterns. Just like how you drive without thinking about every turn. Once you've practiced enough, your mouth and brain move together naturally. Another thing that slows people down is fear. Fear of making mistakes. You might think, what if I say it wrong? But let me ask you, when a native speaker makes a grammar mistake, do you even notice? Probably not. They just keep talking. That's what fluent speakers do. They don't stop to fix every little error. They keep going. That's the secret. The more you speak without stopping, the more your brain learns to keep up. Thinking smart also means using simple language that gets the job done. Many learners try to sound smart by using big words, but that often slows them down. Fast, fluent speakers use short, strong words. They say, I'm tired. Instead of, I'm feeling quite fatigued. They say, let's go. Instead of, we should proceed. Simplicity makes you faster and more natural. I remember one time, during a workshop, I asked the group to describe their favorite movie, but they had to do it in 10 seconds. Everyone froze. They were trying to remember perfect sentences, so I told them, forget perfect, just speak. And suddenly, one student said, it's funny, I love the actors. I watch it many times. And everyone laughed because it sounded so real. Not perfect grammar, but perfect communication. That's the goal. When you think smart, you stop treating English like a subject and start treating it like a tool. A tool to express yourself, to connect, to share your ideas. Now, let's talk about speed. Speed doesn't come from pushing yourself to talk fast. It comes from removing hesitation. Every pause comes from doubt. Should I say this? Is that correct? Do they understand me? Thinking smart means trusting yourself more. When you trust your words, your brain stops second guessing and starts delivering. One great trick I often recommend is to shadow native speakers. Play a short English clip, maybe from a podcast or a movie, and repeat along with them. You don't need to understand every word. Just feel the rhythm, the flow, the pace. Your mouth and your brain start syncing with English speed. Do this for even 5 minutes a day, and you'll notice your speaking gets faster without effort. Another thing I want you to remember, fluency is not about speed alone. It's about flow. You can speak slowly and still sound fluent if your words come naturally. The key is rhythm. When your ideas and words move in sync, you sound confident and fluent no matter your speed. So, next time you speak English, stop overthinking. Don't translate. Don't search for perfect words. Just think smart. Focus on what you want to say, not how to say it. The right words will come. Trust your brain. It's smarter than you think. And when you start doing this every day, when you think in English, speak without fear, and keep your sentences simple, something magical happens. You stop learning English and start living it. The conversations feel lighter, faster, smoother. You don't need to pause and plan. You just talk. And that's when you'll realize you're not just speaking fast, you're thinking fast too. So my challenge for you today is this: for the next 24 hours, think in English as much as possible. Describe what you see. React to things around you. Talk to yourself in English. Don't worry about mistakes. Just build that connection between your thoughts and your words. That's how fluency begins. All right, my friend. That's it for today's episode of the English Hour. I hope this inspired you to think smarter and speak faster. Not by rushing, but by trusting your brain and keeping things simple. Remember, fluent English doesn't come from speed. It comes from flow. And that flow starts in your mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode helped you, don't forget to share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the English Hour for more practical, real-world fluency lessons. Keep thinking smart, keep speaking fast, and I'll see you in the next episode.